Women are delicate, vulnerable, fragile. Men are big, strong, and muscular. But rugby player Ilona Maher is exactly this, and hot. And she proves it on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And with that, she makes it clear that body positivity is about much more than just curves. Muscles are often considered less feminine. And there are still women who believe that if they lift weights, they're gonna look like Arnold Schwarzenegger by tomorrow. Which is a complete cliche and a relic from a time when female bodybuilders took a lot of anabolic steroids. But beauty ideals are just a difficult thing. Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue is actually not much more than just a swimsuit catalog. But thanks to some clever marketing, aka supermodels in skimpy bikinis, it became huge. But Ilona Maher doesn't walk on catwalks. She sprints across fields and knocks down anyone who gets in her way because she's a rugby player and that's what she looks like. She is literally a strong woman, and it kind of makes even more sense to put her on the cover than some supermodel, because I mean it's called Sports Illustrated and she's not only an athlete but also an Olympic medalist. And yet this cover is pretty revolutionary. Even the magazine's editor-in-chief said it marks a shift in the narrative for women in sports. It's more than just a celebration of their athletic achievements. It's a powerful statement. Her ability to break barriers both on and off the field resonates with women everywhere. And that's exactly it. It has always been a thing to tell women how they have to look. And it still is. That's where this whole body positivity movement comes from. But the term is still mostly used when it comes to curves and weight. Maybe that's exactly why Ilona Maher wanted to show herself in a skimpy bikini. Not to be objectified, but to show herself as a desirable woman with muscles. And apparently she wanted to do this for years.
It's been a lifelong goal of mine to be in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issues, but I'm committed to inspiring others to appreciate their body and to find their own beauty, no matter what society says. I think I would be a great model for your issue.
Now Sports Illustrated has finally said yes. Also, of course, because it guarantees publicity. I mean, when they first featured plus-size model Ashley Graham on the cover, it also wasn't out of pure goodwill, like they're suddenly all in on body positivity. This is still a business, and they're out for the money. But it still helped to make curvy women more mainstream. But that muscular women can also be hot hasn't sunk in yet just as much, at least not in mainstream. Like, for example, Serena Williams was ridiculed for years because of her strong body. And female football players are still called lesbians. And yes, some of them are gay. But people use this term as an insult just because they played a male sport.
If you're doing it, stop it. Get some help.
Speaking of, some men on the internet have kind of made it their mission to accuse every woman who doesn't fit their worldview of being a man. But the truly sad thing is that there are also women who join in on this. Like some lady who commented on TikTok about Ilona Maher's body. I bet she has a BMI over 30.
Hi, thank you for this comment. I think you were trying to roast me, but this is actually a fact. I do have a BMI of 30. Well, 29.3 to be more exact. I've been considered overweight my whole life. I chatted with my dietitian because I go off of, facts and not just what pops up here, like you do. And we talked about BMI, and we talked about how it really isn't helpful for athletes. I've said it before, I'm 5'10", 200 pounds, and I have about, and this is an estimate, but about 170 pounds of lean mass on me. Do that math in your head, you probably can't. I do have a BMI of 30. I am considered overweight. But alas, I'm going to the Olympics and you're not.
That's exactly why she's a body positivity hero. But beauty ideals are just a difficult thing. Everyone has their preferences, and that's perfectly fine. It becomes a problem when we impose them on others and insult those who don't need them. That's what body positivity is actually all about. You don't have to find everybody beautiful, but you have to be respectful. And there are obviously still things to overcome, because in a time when you think that gender roles aren't as stereotypical as they used to be, we still have a hard time to shake off some cliches. Not only muscular, but also tall women sometimes have a hard time to be seen as feminine, even though there are more than enough examples. But at least on screen, height isn't as obvious as muscles or curves, if you don't make it obvious.
You think your life is hard? I'm a high school junior wearing size 13 Nikes.
No, not like that. Take Gwendolyn Christie, who's only 1 centimeter taller than Elizabeth Debicki. But between Brienne of Tarth and Lady Diana, only one of them looks big. And it's still a headline if a celebrity woman dates a man that's shorter than her. Not only because some men don't want to date a taller woman, but also because some women consider a man who doesn't offer this desired height less masculine. I mean, there's a reason that men list their height on dating apps or even lie about it, because to many women, that's something important. Because cliches aren't only in men's heads, but also in women's. Fairy tales, movies, and society tell us men must be strong and therefore tall to protect us helpless women, as if we're some damsels in distress who need to be rescued by a knight in shining armor.
Just a flesh wound.
That is why Ilona Maher is a body positivity icon not only for women. She gives a shit about all of these cliches. In her interview, she said, "I've always been called masculine or whatever, but I've never felt that way." And she's also not always strong, but has her insecurities, which make her all the more human. Like when she talks about how loving her own body didn't come overnight, or that she wants people to like her. There will, of course, always be haters. But as someone with a lot of toxic body image baggage, it's surprising to me just how supportive and positive reactions online are. And I love it. Because yes, women can of course be big and strong and be vulnerable at the same time.
Both. Both is good.
Just like men can be short and skinny and still be knights in shining armor, like by being there for others, or if there's a bucket that needs to be escorted outside.
Yeah.
I'm of course perfectly capable to do that myself, but sometimes it's nice to have a knight to the rescue. And other times,
I don't want to be strong like men who look pretty. I want to be strong like bitch that fight bears in the forest.